Beans. Good
Cool,
beans.
beans.
Wait, are we live? I'm on
Look in
the
the
other
corner.
screen. Are we live? What?
We're live.
We're live. I told you I was doing stuff.
Yes, we are live on a Tuesday. Like I said,
What?
you never know when we're going to show up. We show up when we feel like it.
Yeah, that's right.
Or when it's convenient for everyone involved. No, we are live once again. Lonely Marks here to talk some wrestling, specifically some AEW, some WWE. But before that, I mean, we gotta introduce ourselves. What if this is your first time watching and you don't even know who we are? I am one of the hosts, Jacob, joined by these two lovely gentlemen. Richie, unfortunately, could not join us tonight, but hopefully next week or the week after he will be back. I can't remember how long he's gone. He's not lonely.
He's gone for 2 weeks. It's like 2 weeks or something. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, he said he was going to try to find a computer, but I don't know if that'll happen or not.
Right.
So,
I mean, who wants to do a 2-hour show while they're on vacation anyway?
Yeah, I might be doing the same thing in like 3 weeks, so it's fine.
Hey guys, remember when I said I was going to disappear?
Hi, Jacob.
Hey, it's going well. How are you doing?
No, I'm good. It's been a long couple of weeks, long past week of work, this past one, but it ended on a pretty good note. Got to see a movie or two this weekend. Wrestledream was pretty good, as we'll talk about.
Wish I could have watched it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I ended up buying it, and me and JPO kind of started, and by the end we had me and him and Chris Cass and Tato and JB3, a couple of people just watching, hanging out. But yeah, it ended up being another, kind of like the, the All Out show or whatever, the one that, nobody really wanted to double dip on in that same week.
Yeah.
Like show that, people maybe weren't super hyped on, other than a few things. It ended up being a really, really good show. It was a long show, but it was a good show.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
We'll talk about it.
You guys will get to it. Yeah, but I wasn't able to watch it. I ended up going to a little retreat this past weekend, a little board game retreat, which did wonders for me. Men, gentlemen, I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here. Men, take your mental health seriously. If you need to take a weekend and unwind and just spend some time on your own, you're with some really good friends, do it. And don't even worry about other things. Like, I didn't think about work. I didn't think about, I've got a movie Battleground coming up that I haven't even started prepping for. Didn't even think about it. Wasn't worried like, oh, no, we're not going to be able to watch. Hey, Malcolm. I'm not going to be able to watch Wrestledream and contribute to the show. Well, you know what? What I did this past weekend was much more important than that.
Got to do what you got to do, man,
Take care of your mental health. Take care of you.
That's right. That's why I took the different position of my job than I had the past 2 years that I've now had for 6 months, and I'm much happier. So, working a sub department, doing my own thing, rather than being a team lead, which, it is what it is. But I'm getting paid pretty much the same amount of money and a lot less stress. So it's fine, Cool.
Yeah. So I did rewatch The Karate Kid, and I realized that Daniel's not as innocent as we make him out to be. He's kind of a jerk sometimes.
As stated in Cobra Kai by Johnny himself. He's right.
I need to watch Cobra Kai. Like, I wanted to watch. Like, I might be.
It's funny. They basically the creators of Cobra Kai took that theory essentially, because it was a couple of videos that came out years ago saying that Daniel was the real bully of that movie. I know this isn't wrestling, but whatever. We're just talking. But yeah, they took that fan theory and kind of worked it in to the premise for Cobra Kai of what happened to Johnny and what's his perspective and what happened to him afterwards, essentially, and then bridged out this whole series. And he basically runs down that video essentially when he's talking to Miguel Silva, sitting on a corner telling his side of basically the Karate Kid of the events that happened in that movie. So it's a lot of fun from basically him narrating that. So it's essentially the same thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's pretty cool. That series is phenomenal, by the way. One of the best.
I need to watch
really,
it.
Good.
I haven't
Probably my favorite like modern show that's running right now. I love Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is amazing. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of good. And I'm just not a TV guy, but I've heard there's like a lot of good TV.
That's
out right
the
now.
one TV show I will watch when it drops is Cobra Kai. That's the one I will, and it makes those movies better, for sure. But they've done a great. It's the perfect gold standard for what a legacy series can be, as far as respecting the older characters while still building up great new characters and doing both at the same time. It's the standard now. Really good.
Nice. Something new, old stars building up new talent. We might be talking about that in just a little bit too.
Yeah, for sure.
A certain individual debut. Another reason, like I'm torn now because like I could have went to Wrestledream. It is in my state.
Right.
It was in Seattle, and I live.
We have continually roasted Jacob the last 2 weeks for you have this show in your backyard and you're not going. Like how
I know.
you?
Like if they had announced this like a couple months in advance, I'd be like yeah. I mean, because I've never actually been to a wrestling show live. It just hasn't.
Any wrestling
show. Like it just hasn't worked out. And there's been several and I'm like halfway between Seattle and Portland, so I have like multiple opportunities. If they go to Seattle, I can go Portland. But it's just never worked out scheduling wise. And
you should go to like a Defy show, if you can get to one. Which I think is
that'd be cool.
Tacoma. Is that Tacoma basically, or something?
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know your transportation thing. You probably have to find somebody to go with or whatever. But but yeah, like that would be cool to where you might see some top level indie talent, but also get like kind of a bigger show feel, but like an indie show. That would be kind of fun, kind of a nice in between. Pretty good.
Pizza's on JP.
I should have done that. I should have done that first.
Yeah, right.
Actually, you know what? Sadly, probably will go to pizza in the next couple of days. Legit, that's what I go. I'm gonna save all this cash, and then I'm like, well, I could get pizza.
I'm hungry. They're like, food sounds good too.
Yeah, well, I mean, blame you. Saving and pizza are like on the same level. Okay,
it is. I mean, you do have to eat. I mean, you do. It's a necessity.
It's not a waste of money.
Right. It's not like you're going on, stupid.
Who cares if you have food at home?
Yeah.
Could be worse. Could be black tar heroin.
Oh my god.
No, that's not good.
And it's not. So you're good.
I know we talked to Richie about that, but I about how Eliminated
about Black Tar Heroin
is in Perth. No, Eliminated, getting back to wrestling. But that's like 45 hours away from him. It's on the complete opposite coast of Australia.
Oh, okay.
For him.
Yeah, I forget how big. Like I do that to Chris Cass all the time. I'm like, dude, there's a show in Canada. He's like, yeah, where? He's like, yeah, 9-10 hours. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I underestimate how big these places are.
It's like if you were to tell somebody in Dallas there's a show in El Paso, and it's like, oh, but it's in Texas. It's like, no, that's like a 16-hour drive away. Like it's a large state. It's a 2-day drive.
JPO, did you not know that Canada was like the same distance?
Size of
I thought Canada was the size of like Rhode Island. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hop, skip, and a jump away to any part of Canada. Yeah, those Canuckers.
Malcolm, if you do go to Elimination Chamber, let us know. However, don't count on seeing Emma.
Yeah,
Too soon?
Yeah,
a little too soon. That's fucked up, man.
But let's jump into it. Let's talk some Wrestledream. And
I was gonna say, let's talk Wrestledream because the end of Wrestledream can lead into our other big topic. Essentially, of what happened at the end of Wrestledream can lead up to the big news of the week, obviously. But yeah, we could talk Wrestledream. JPO and I saw Wrestledream. I ended up purchasing it, and we had a little fun little watch along for that one.
Before we go too far, JPO and Richie just about nailed the predictions. So
they tied.
Good on them.
Yeah, they tied. I had the chart with me. Jacob, you almost made a comeback at the end because you were one of the two who had the Callis family and one or two other little ones where you almost made a little comeback at the end, but a little too short. I was behind pretty much from the start. So
did you say Darby was going to win too, Jacob?
He also said Darby was going to win. So had Darby won,
that's what I'm saying. If Darby had, you would have tied. Yeah.
Well, that was before I realized it was the main event. So
right.
Yeah. True. Now, as a lot of people said, like if that didn't like last end with Edge, like that, people would have been mad.
Oh yeah, if it was just
and I think the speculation really started once they announced that day that match was going to be the main. We were all like, "That's odd." So they definitely are going to be ending with something.
No,
right?
I'll admit, like I did not think Edge or Ledge or Copeland was coming. You know, till then I was like, well, maybe.
Oh, maybe they just wanted one last because they were going to tear the ring up. And
that's true too. I mean, and like honestly, and like good kudos on like it was a good match. I mean, I guess we'll get there. Plus, like it was the first. I want to say the first TNT main event, right? So title main event,
right.
Yeah, that's 2 pay-per-views in a row for them where a mid-card title is main evented.
Yeah. And honestly though, let's fucking end that now. Let's have our world champ fucking defend. Let's not get Roman Reigns up in here, even though MJF is at least wrestling, but fucking
retaining a 2-on-1 handicap match with no shenanigans. Did I see that right?
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, he won clean if I remember right. Again, there was 14, including the pre-show, there was 14 matches, so I try to remember like every finish. But
is there 2?
Yeah, no, there was 10 main and 4 pre-show matches. Yes,
14 matches. Damn.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But apparently Beth Phoenix was also kind of all elite, based on that. We'll talk about.
I don't know that.
Yeah, that's the voice coming out of the beginning of that thing. We'll talk about it, Malcolm. We'll get there. But yeah, we got to talk about the actual Wrestledream show in Seattle. Not much to talk about for the pre-show, just to kind of go somewhat in order. He had 4 matches. They were all fine for what they did. Getting the crowd hyped up. We saw Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. We saw the Acclaimed. Josh Barnett and Claudio was kind of a random one, but Josh Barnett is somewhat local to the area, so I
didn't know that. That doesn't make sense in the end.
Yeah, so I mean, him getting a little thing, but yeah, we don't see him wrestle that often, so that was something. That kind of 4-on-4 match intergender thing as well.
Yeah, I was saying outside of Bloodsport, this was his first just normal 1-on-1 wrestling match in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
We started off it's kind of a mixed match here, but not intergender because they don't do intergender, so it was mostly guy, girl. Kojima, Keith Lee, Athena, and Billy Starks defeated Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, Diamante, my girl, and Mercedes Martinez. Claudio beat Barnett. Luchasaurus beat Nick Wayne. That was actually, I think, the shortest match of the night. That was under 5 minutes. And then the trios titles, you got the Acclaim defeating Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Badu Tito.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just...
Okay, Slapjack, if everyone wants to remember who Shane Haste was. Slapjack.
JP was quizzing me. I was like, sorry, I don't remember Slapjack.
I was like, you do know who it is, though.
I've heard the name. I didn't watch a lot of... I didn't watch a lot of the... era where they were in front of the screens. That was just weird.
Yeah. I did because to me it was better than nothing. So
sure, if you say so.
Plus I was on Raw a couple times. I have a good cool screenshot of Elias doing a headlock, and I'm clearly watching. I'm on the screen on Raw.
There you go.
I only did it a couple times, but both times I did it, I found myself.
Nice. But we opened the show proper, with world champion MJF, but not defending his world title, defending the Ring of Honor tag team titles
by himself.
And
how long is this Cole injury too? How long is he gonna be able to do this? It didn't sound like it's gonna be only a week. It sounds like Cole's out for a minute. So,
he shattered his ankle completely, so it's gonna be a minute. Yeah, it's broken in a couple of places.
You could tell right away too. Maybe not the shattered part, but you could tell right away as he hopped down, he was limping. I was like, no, don't get hurt because you fucking just.
I think that's why
take your time.
Most of us in the predictions, I just at the last minute I had the righteous only because it was you got your world champion who should be focusing on world champion things now that he's by himself. Let's get these titles onto an actual tag team. Let them go defend them in Ring of Honor, maybe on future shows, as Ring of Honor champion, and just let's move on from this. I get it was a gimmick, that's fine, but MJF can let's be a singles guy. You can still have Adam Cole around doing his thing in a wheelchair, you know what I mean? Promos and whatnot. But he's still got a title he needs to defend. Let's get that.
And here's my logic, Pez. Exactly that is what I thought the last 2 times I voted.
Right.
I voted they're gonna lose Aussie Open. I voted they're gonna lose to whoever the Dark Order. And so I was wrong both times. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not gonna do that mistake a third time. They obviously want to keep going with this. So
I guess, but this 1-on-2 thing, I think it also just to me, it kind of devalues these tag teams that you're trying to build up. If with one guy, I understand he's
like where do you go with the
what do you do with that with the Righteous now? Like where do you go with
the
that?
Righteous now?
One guy.
He is
I
the
don't
world
know.
champ, but still he's not Wardlow. Like he's a normal dude. Like he still lost to one dude, kind of thing. So yeah,
it's not a Roman Reigns situation where he's a big hoss giant dude, who can like beat two people,
right? Where you can almost forgive it. Where it's like, okay, it's Braun Strowman. I get it, but
I mean, he's over. That's fine. But yeah,
he is over though.
He's over. If he defends his
people
world title,
were popping for the kangaroo kick and body slams and shit, which is cool. I like.
But is every pay-per-view forward? Is he going to start to having 2 matches every pay-per-view? I mean, what are we doing?
And that also to me like takes up spots. Like that's they've got such a big roster. There's always people being left off. Like come on, like let's let's get a spot out there for someone else besides that.
Yeah, no, for sure. So plenty of good tag teams trying to come up. Some other matches we had. This is one I went back and watched because I think we were distracted doing something on the stream, but Eddie Kingston and Shibata for the New Japan Strong Championship, I believe, and the ROH World Title. This is one I went back and watched because they had a solid little kind of mean scary guy match, just beating on each other, lots of chops, lots of kicks, lots of back fists, things like that. They beat each other for a good 10 minutes. Crowd was into it, as expected. Eddie Kingston came out on that. So, not like, life-changing things there, but a lot of fun. Chris Statlander, retaining against Julia Hart there, and kind of it was an all right match, a little sloppy at times. Julia Hart and Chris just didn't quite have the chemistry. I think they kind of flipped a few things here and there, but the crowd was really into Julia Hart. I think they would have been okay had she gone over in that match from the crowd reactions that we were hearing for most of the night. Crowd was pretty good for most of the night, given the fact that it was like a 5-hour show. The crowd, for the most part, in Seattle was really good.
Seattle got some really good fans. You should watch the Hawks game.
Yeah. They were into it for the most part. I think there was one I'll talk about. Like, unfortunately, FTR later on had kind of the death slot in between Danielson and Sabre, and then the main event. So,
and they were all long matches too, like 20, 25, 20, like. So yeah, it's you're with these AEW shows. These last 5 matches or 4 are all over 20 minutes. Like that's a lot of nonstop wrestling.
It's a lot to do and a lot to have the crowd stay up for. I mean, they did their best. They weren't like at any point kind of dead. So they were good. We had the 4-way tag match to determine the number 1 contenders. Only Richie had the Bucks, I guess. And the Bucks actually going over, which is again a little odd given the fact that it's like we just had 3 FTR Buck matches though. Like, do we need another one? Like number 4? Like to me that was a little odd. It made me wonder if FTR was going to drop to Aussie later just to get like a fresh match. But I think it just is odd, guys. I feel like we kind of moved on from that, and now we're going to go back to it again.
And they're already champions.
So I don't know where that's going. I get, I forgot about the Phoenix thing, so I probably shouldn't have picked the Lucha Bros in that one. I forgot Ray was kind of basically working hurt. He did like one spot and then kind of sat outside most of the match.
But it's also fair to say like this, they're doing the whole like at any, so like it could have been down the road if they had wanted to, waited for and
I just thought Orange and Hook was a little too quick to be getting like title shots. Just me personally, like it's an interesting tag team, but let's build that up a little bit before we get them, a title shot. I know it's odd, but it's all right.
I thought it would have been great if Orange Cassidy and Hook did win, and then 6 months later down the line, they're like, "Hey, remember that tag team title match we earned? Should we do that?"
We could do that now. But other than that, it was still a good kind of spotty match. We then got to what. And I I rewatched 3 matches right before we went live from my replay because I rewatched the Eddie match, rewatched the Swerve Adam Page match, and the Danielson Zack Sabre match. Swerve Strickland Adam Page, my favorite match of the night. I know I'm in the minority on that. A lot of people had Danielson and Zack Sabre. I loved this match, especially on rewatch. I thought it was great. I thought these 2 guys absolutely tore it down and damn near stole the show for me. Crowd super into Swerve. He was a local guy. I believe he's from Tacoma originally. So, but crowd, I think that dude's just really over right now. It's a perfect time JP and I were saying to make a new star. Let's make this
honestly,
make a new
star. Like honestly, if he's next in line to fight MJF, I'm down for
that.
Cool. You know, Christian retained, as I was gonna say, maybe him and Darby if you want to do TNT, but Christian's still the champ. Honestly, man, yeah, you put him over a former world champ in a good match. I'm up there. It's definitely in the top 3 for me. Yeah, let's do it.
The guys, I think I looked up, he's like 33, he's in his prime. Like, let's make a star. Yeah, let's do it. The dude's been working a long time. It seems perfect. The Nana thing is over, you know, with him. You know, crowd's into that. But like they're into the Nana thing, but also Swerve's a really good wrestler, so then you can watch a really good wrestler, you know, do his thing.
Yeah, it works on all levels.
Yeah, it works in every way. It's a perfect time. Yeah, they had a really, really good match. Yes. Great near falls at the end. They had a dead eye on the steel steps out there. A couple of good stomps on the aprons, things like that. Buckshot that Swerve kicked out of, and then they did a really kind of cool finish where Nana put Swerve's foot on the ropes. Then got kicked out, but as he was going, it was subtle. He tossed his crown to Swerve kind of behind the ref's back. Swerve used it to hit Adam Page and then hit a couple of house calls and whatnot, and his driver for the pin. And the crowd went nuts for that. So a great way to make a star. He went over on Adam Page very decisively, and it ended up I think it was a perfect mix of stuff and ended up being, I know I'm in the minority on this. It was my favorite match of the night. Don't get me wrong, Danielson and Sabre was amazing. It was excellent, very, very good. And I can't fault anybody. Anybody that says like that was their favorite match or what match of the year candidate, I will not argue with them at all.
That's why I was going to say, for me, like when it comes to match of the night, I have a hard time because it really is your flavor of ice cream. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not going to disagree with Danielson and Sabre. I'm not going to disagree with Page and Strickland. Even the main event, like if you just love that kind of like fucking breaking down the ring and shit near fall, kind of like that's great too. So like. Yeah, there's I think those are the top 3 for me. It's the standouts. Like, hey, if you haven't seen this pay-per-view, but you kind of want to see like the highlights, those are 3 to kind of go out of your way.
Yeah, for sure. Wheeler Yuta and Ricky Starks. It was more just kind of a match to get Ricky Starks kind of another win back after taking those beatings from Bryan Danielson, you know, and kind of get some of his mojo.
Yeah, that's what this was. I mean, I said before, like here's the build up to this. Here's an interview with Ricky Starks. Interruption, Wheeler Yuta. All right, we got a match. Like it was one of those quickly build. This could have been the only one that, like, if you wanted to save time, kind of cut it. But I'm glad Ricky got a nice win, so I'm not totally against it. Although, who's heel here? I don't know.
I was about to say, did Blackpool like just turn face without actually turning face?
They're the weirdest fucking group ever. Because Claudio and Wheeler are kind of heels, but Danielson's not a heel. I don't know.
I wish you were there, Jacob, with us, because I would have asked the same question about both the men in this match. Is Wheeler Yuta a heel or a face?
Yes.
Is Ricky Starks a heel or a face?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right,
because he does. He like his promos are kind of heelish, but his mannerisms in the ring, and he's still kind of playing to the crowd. And I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah, not a bad match, but again, it is one of those kind of gray areas where I'm like, I couldn't say I was that invested. Other than I'm glad Ricky won the one because I do love Ricky, you know.
Yeah. But it was again kind of the in-between spot because they built up to Danielson and Zack Sabre, a very anticipated matchup here. And again, an amazing match. I'm not taking anything away from it, you know, just me being, you know, the Swerve match being my favorite. This match was a totally different type of match. It was what you thought it would be. It was a wrestling clinic. It was a counter clinic mixed in with some, you know, hard shots, uppercuts, you know, chops, a couple of suplexes here and there, you know, out of counters. Still some stiff stuff here. Moxley was on commentary for every one of the Blackpool matches this evening. He was very entertaining. Nice. He was doing his thing, just as laid back. At one point in this match near the end, I think they were getting onto him in the headset. So he took off his headset, stood up, and clearly, even within the camera, yelled, "Fuck that guy! Get him, Brian!" and he's still caught on, you know, JR's headset. But he was very entertaining. Even JR was kind of, laughing at his kind of shenanigans ringside. He didn't interfere or anything. He stayed out of it and just watched it. Very much like a ground and pound, move per move, catch can clinic. I mean, both these guys trading submissions, trading counters. If you're into that sort of thing, man, like this is a match, you know, you will love, you know, like you will get into it. And again, anybody that says this is like one of their match of the year candidates for sure. I will not argue with you whatsoever if somebody puts it on a top 10 of the year, anything like that, because I think it did live up to the hype. Danielson getting the win here. But again, Zack Sabre is one of those guys that's in and out of AEW right now, just kind of here and there. And he's still a relatively young guy. He's going to have a long career. Like, he's going to be fine. He can come back and do his thing. He still does a lot of New Japan stuff. So they'll bring him in and out. And he can have other good matches. But yeah, a good match that lived up to the hype. JPO, any thoughts on this one? Yeah.
No, like I said, this is another good one. Here, as I said, I'm kind of with you on this fact of kind of whatever your favorite vice room is. Even we're about to talk about that 6 men in the tag titles.
Oh, that was great. Good. Yes.
Yeah, you kind of have these last 4. And again, Ricky and Yuto's not bad either, but these last 4 are great. Strickland, Page, this is some good stuff tonight here. I don't know if I believe Tony Khan. Tony Khan's always quick to say every pay-per-view is the best pay-per-view ever, but this was a really good pay-per-view.
Yeah, he's the hype man for his own promotion, so I can't blame him for that. You don't want to say, it was okay.
Chicken Little, hey guys, we've had better, but I thought, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10?
Yeah, right.
Every pay-per-view is like from top to bottom. Best show we've ever had. I really believe that. I'm like, do you?
But I think if you put out a pay-per-view where at least 3 or 4 of the matches are like all like pretty good bangers for the year, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's a good pay-per-view overall.
Yeah, like I said, there's honestly, again, looking back at it, I'd say there's even, I would even say the tag and the 6 man maybe kind of go every way.
Speaking of that,
pay-per-view. If you got 4 hours, just watch the pay-per-view.
Yeah, watch it. It's worth it. It honestly would be. Or if they put it on Max next year, if they end up putting the back end logo on there, go back and watch this. Do it. I'm waiting.
Please.
Hopefully, please, put it on Max at least, so I'm not paying out of the nose for it every month. Listen, I make okay money, but like $50 a month is still $50 a month. That adds up. So
I'm bad at math, but
that's
$600 a year.
Hold on.
Basically.
Let me get my calculator app. It's $600. God damn it, guys.
500 plus 2 more. 600.
Assholes.
Like you just mentioned, that 6 man as well. Jericho, Ibushi, and Kenny Omega versus the Callis
This is one I got wrong prediction wise because I really thought Omega was going to get a win.
I thought they, and he didn't even have to pin Takeshi. He could have pinned Seth. You know what I mean? Because it's a 6 man.
I get it though, man. I think like Barber's Logic and others was just this is kind of a new set faction. Omega and Jericho's going to have maybe a one off, maybe not. Jericho did tease, the Golden Jets he trademarked just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, right.
No, people do that. Like Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona does it all the time. Where I see on his podcast, he's like, "I trademark this, and this, just in case it hits, and I own it now." So Jericho's one of those that he'll trademark shit just in case. You know what I mean? Wrestle Dazzle, he trademarked it just in case it didn't work, but he had it in case it was money making.
Yeah, but but really good stuff here. Again, if you love a good match that just breaks down into all hell breaks loose, dudes hitting moves left and right, kicks and knees and big suplexes, big dives. This is a match that's up your alley. It lived up to everybody's potential. Jericho was great. Jericho kept up with everybody amazingly well still, again, for a guy who's 50, 51 years old. I mean, still just keeping up with all these guys like Ospreay and Omega and Takeshita, but yeah, it was really good. So yeah, the Callis family still kind of running wild. So maybe they'll have to bring in another outside factor to try to battle him. Who knows? You know what I mean? Who they might bring in to try to, take him down. We'll see till the next pay-per-view. Again, like I mentioned earlier, FTR unfortunately kind of having the little death slot before the main event here against Aussie Open. Crowds are their best to get into it. It was a pretty standard, kind of FTR back and forth match, which is not to say it was bad at all. It was still a very good match. Went a little too long for my taste.
These two have chemistry.
But again, for the slot they were in, probably should have gone a little shorter. They ended up going 20 minutes, and I could feel the crowd
maybe flip-flop this with Ricky or I don't know.
Something, or just cut 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Again, double heat and things like that. Double hot tags. You don't really need that in this slot. I think they could have done a basic tag.
And I will argue, and we kind of talked about this briefly too. Aussie Open, it was kind of a quick they just lost those tag titles. I also don't feel like there's a lot of oomph and believability that they're winning, which I think hurts it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I can see them again. ROH tag team champions, sure. AEW tag team champions.
I believe that. I just didn't believe after this push. It felt like you just lost to a makeshift tag team. now you get another title shot. And it was, that was my more qualm. I think down the line they could be. I'm a big fan.
They could be eventually. And then we had our. Oh, go ahead, James.
Real quick, we go back to Kenny Omega. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Does anyone know the last pay-per-view Kenny Omega was victorious at?
Was it like last year, like Forbidden Door or something like that, or
no, it was last year. He has not won on pay-per-view all year.
Yeah, no, I know. They said they actually had a graphic for that. If I want to say during the entrance that he was 0-4 this year on pay-per-view, something like that. So they did acknowledge that. And I think it's kind of becoming part of the thing.
It was all the way back to All Out last year. What's his last win? Where
I wasn't fast enough.
And where the Elite defeated Hangman and the Dark Order, and for the Trios Championship.
Gotcha.
I think that's over a year because All Out 2022 was September 4th. So
September 4th.
So we had Christian Cage versus Darby Allin for the TNT title. 2 out of 3 falls. Darby got the first fall when he rolled up Christian when tucked his turtleneck over his head and covered him up, because as we all know, it's impossible to kick out if you can't see. I just thought that was
sound logic.
Yeah, right. But then we had going into second fall, Darby was counted out after good God Almighty, I think we all winced on our watch along JPO, these spots on the stairs. Jesus Christ. Oh God damn.
I did watch some highlights.
Did you see some highlights? I was gonna say, did you see any of these highlights, Jacob? But on the actual stairs, not the top flat part. I mean on the actual stairs, body slams and a suplex. Oh my God, just absolutely disgusting stuff.
Darby's going to retire by 30, unless he's already 30.
How old is he?
He's 30. I think he's literally 30 right now.
31.
Okay, so, he's got 2 or 3 years left in him.
Yeah. So he did all this. Christian rolled back in, count out victory for the second fall. They bring the stretcher out, but Christian does a top rope splash to the outside on the stretcher, and then proceeds to peel the ring back, peels a whole bunch of the pads and things back, exposes about half the ring to the wood underneath. And honestly, I think even us watching, brings him in, hits a kill switch on the wood, and Darby kicks out, which I thought was a little unrealistic at that point, to be honest. I was like, the dude was literally about to be stretched out to the hospital, and he hits the kill switch on this wood, and he still kicks out. Thought they could have ended it right there.
A little bit, but at this point in wrestling, I'm not shocked.
And the actual finish of the match is just a belt shot.
That's true. That I didn't like. I actually thought he was going to kick out of that. I'm like,
because the actual finish was Nick Wayne comes out. You think obviously to make the save, and there's a swerve. Nick Wayne turns on Darby, hits him with the TNT title.
The entire time I'm yelling, I'm like, I don't trust this son of a bitch. Don't trust him. No,
we didn't trust him. I know.
He's near him. He's milking it too long. Fuck Nick Wayne.
No, and sure enough, it was very telegraphed with how long he took to actually do anything. Turns on him. Christian Cage retains the title, gets the win. Lucha comes out. They proceed to Sting comes out to try to help out. Fires a little bit, but gets overwhelmed by the numbers. Beating, and then we get the video. We get a video of somebody driving up in a muscle car to the arena. Pre-tape video. Who could it ever possibly be? And then we hit the. We get a little bit of a different, somewhat spoken intro to the song, but we get the Metalinga song. We get the Alter Bridge song. They were able to get the song to use it, and out comes not Edge, Adam Copeland, who is now
the Rated R superstar still.
And me and JPO, we were joking the whole time of, so a surprise entry, but complete with an entrance video, music. Contract, a graphic that says he's all elite right afterwards. Man, they did a lot in that 30 seconds in between him getting there to the arena.
I was doing the logic of okay, if that hadn't happened, let's say Darby Allin just straight up won, right? Like when would they have played that video? Like, you know what I mean? if he was there, why didn't he come out after Sting?
And
Like,
help him.
just you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those funny, like, obviously time kind of things. But that's just wrestling. But yeah,
and also
funny,
they're about
they
to
got that
put the
all done.
beating on everybody, and much like Jeff Hardy, Edge came out and had to run back and forth on the rampway before he went down to make the save.
Oh, yeah, of
But
course.
everybody is in shock just watching in the ring. But no, not taking anything away from it. It was a great moment. Him actually having his music was pretty damn cool, to be honest. Because we all didn't even know like what kind of music is he gonna have if he debuts.
Yeah.
Could he have the Rob Zombie music? He could
I've
have the Rob Zombie music.
I've got some news on that.
Who knows?
Yeah,
so
he said that he's friends with who is it, the lead singer of
yeah,
Alter
he's
Bridge,
friends with Alter Bridge. So like he's like, he's like, no, that was on borrow because I was friends in WWE, and now he's like, wherever I go, I can have that. So yeah, that was luckily something that was evidently not as far as we knew, but as far as he knew, was never in question, which is pretty cool.
It would be cool. It would be cool if at some point, like kind of like they did with CM Punk and they've done with Bryan Danielson, if they do bring out like the Rob Zombie for like a special entrance or something.
Yeah, they could. I mean, that would be cool. Yeah. I mean, I can see them doing, I guess, a throwback. Yeah, because I mean, I would imagine Rob Zombie, he's a wrestling fan, so them, using it for a pay-per-view, I think would be fine. But yeah, as it says right there, Adam Copeland, as they called him, but they called him the Rated R Superstar.
Yeah, a quick few notes from the scrum. Evidently that was just a fuck up from WWE. Unlike the music, they hadn't trademarked Rated R Superstar, and I think they said 2 to 3 years. So Tony Khan or Adam found that out, and they were able to do it. So and it had been free for like years, at least 2 to 3. So he's legally allowed to be Rated R Superstar. So because at first some like Meltzer had speculated, Taz might get in trouble, but no, that's totally theirs to use. Aldridge is his friends. He mentioned too that like, because we were speculating, he'll do like a match here and there. They're selling it as if he's kind of like CM Punk more or less. Like he's like, no, I'm gonna be here like every week. I'm wrestling a lot. That was one of the first things he said at the scrum was like, we got him not this week, but he is gonna be on Dynamite and Collision this week. But yeah, a week after that, Title Tuesday, which I'm guessing will just be a lot of title matches. Him and Luchasaurus will be the first match, it sounds like, for Adam Copeland. And very excited for that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, cool overall, and it was a great moment. I've seen watched a couple of those from inside the arena. People obviously once the lights went out, pulling their phones out, ready to, as always, record the entrance. But it was a cool moment, and to everybody, some people online going, he's. Well, he told all the WWE fans he was done, he's whatever. But like at the same time, it's like, who cares? Like he's going over to be with his best friend.
He said he was done. He said
he was done with WWE. Like his contract.
He said he was done with WWE. Yeah, and he was, and he is apparently.
One of the cute moments too from the scrum. He goes, when I was thinking about what to do, he goes, the final nail in the coffin was my daughter looking at me going, you go have fun with Uncle Jay.
Uncle Jay.
Well, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to go over there and have another program with his best friend, and I can't.
Well, that and he mentioned too, and this again very similar to Bryan Danielson and other people. He's like, I'm excited. He's like, look at this roster. He's like, I've never been in the ring with Samoa Joe. Me and Claudio have never touched. Obviously, after nothing would Swerve, he's like, I've never been in the ring with Sting. Like, these are all just exciting things to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I damn near everybody other than the Hardys, I guess, right? And Billy Gunn.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Someone else said we could do Dudley's versus Hardys versus Edge and Christian.
That's what I was saying. We could. We could. It's out there. It could happen.
I almost don't want to see that match because it's not going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same.
I would love a segment maybe.
No, we were saying that. Like they don't have to wrestle, but getting all of them in the ring one more time would be pretty damn cool.
Maybe like a heel group's fucking with them, you know what I mean? And then like
or they come to back him up or something, like that would be cool. Yeah, it would be something.
And that's doable. Like I said, they're all available. I mean, 4 of them are on the AEW roster. You just need the Dudleys on loan from Impact.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if we didn't get an Edge and Christian versus Hardys at least once.
Well, I can see down the line. I can see Edge turning.
Christian. Yeah, I mean, who turns though? Yeah, does Edge go heel or does Christian go face?
Edge is a great heel. I don't think you turn him too soon, but like I didn't expect them to turn Danielson heel as soon as they did. When
you could go either way. I mean, you could easily do you do either way. You could easily have like Edge in peril, and finally like Christian has like a heart all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like maybe someone they're really beating the shit out of Edge, and finally he comes to the rescue. Because that's his brother kind of thing. Like or like you said, Edge is a great either way. So
Luchasaurus finally, is fed up with Christian, starts beating him down, and who makes the save? Adam Copeland.
Yeah, easily do
I
a
keep
slow
wanting to
build
call
there.
him Edge.
Well, I'm sure.
It's going to take a minute.
I would not be surprised if JR makes that mistake more than once on
because he called
it Edge. God damn it!
Was it during Blood and Guts? He called Claudio Cesaro.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna happen.
Someone screwed up on the scrum and said Edge, and Tony was like, and he's like, oh, Adam.
Excuse me, Mr. Copeland. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, no, good. Cool news that again, lighting. We lose CM Punk, but we gain Adam Copeland. I mean, that's a pretty big.
This was AEW's like, oh, you want to take Jade Cargill, huh? Yeah, well, fuck you.
Well, we're gonna do something bigger. Yeah, sounds good. And he's actually gonna show up.
2023 is weird. Billy Gunn and Christian are champions. Edges and Adam Copeland's in AEW. Drake Cargill in WWE.
It's 2000 all over again.
Man, Jeff Jarrett title pictures.
And kudos to them too, because I feel like if you had told maybe any one of us, maybe especially me, if you told me like 5-10 years ago, like, by the way, Christian, Billy Gunn, they're gonna have titles, and you're gonna be totally excited and down for it. Be like, what, Billy Gunn? You know what I mean? But hey, yeah, hell yeah, Billy Gunn. And Christian too. This might be my favorite Christian run. Yeah. Like outside of like maybe original ENC kind of like heyday.
No, and I did look it up, so I know. Yeah, he's doing the dad stuff, but in storyline though, do they have the same dad from WWE though? Because they're brothers.
I feel like they didn't they admit at some point in WWE that they're not brothers, or did they always say they were brothers? No, I feel like they admitted at some point that they weren't.
Well, I did look it up though, for real. And this was on several articles. Edge's father, he never knew his father. His father abandoned him when he was young. So,
Christian's going to say that.
Christian's going to say that because,
no doubt.
There's no doubt. Well, I mean, it's going to offend him if you never knew him in the first place. But yeah, that's a prime like Christian promo right there of like, you didn't even know your dad. He probably hated you. He probably saw you come out of the womb and said, I don't want anything to do with that kid. Like whatever. He can do anything he wants with that gimmick.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot Christian is going to be able to say just because of how close they are that we're going to.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
is that a shoot? Yeah. No, it could be so. But yeah, interesting news. Yeah, Adam Copeland is All Elite officially, and he has arrived.
Yeah. So before we move on, I'm just wondering, like, who are some guys on the roster that you want to see him get in the ring with? Of the 500 people employed by AEW,
right? Yes.
I definitely don't mind the Joe thing. He said to himself too, swerve him would be dope. I mean, honestly, just to go down the line. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Everybody, all of them.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, John Moxley. That's another one he mentioned has never happened. Like,
yeah, they just missed each other.
Yeah, when you think about that Edge gap, like, yeah, that's true. He missed that Moxley, Claudio, you know what I mean? And plus all the new guys in AEW, too.
Well,
you know what I mean?
All the other guys, Omega, Ospreay. I mean,
Omega, yeah, he mentioned, he said, I met Omega for the first time today, Yeah.
Well, hell, even him getting back in the ring with Chris Jericho one more time would be interesting,
like that. True. I would see that again.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that one more time. Those guys mix it up. Yeah, any of those Japanese guys would be great.
Hobbs would be dope. Like, yeah, there's so many.
Yeah. I mean,
MJF. Come on,
name it. I mean, name it. So
yeah. The funny enough, the first guy that came to my mind was Hangman. I think Hangman and Edge could have a great match. So that was
FTR. Yeah, that's gonna happen. They love those mixed names.
Well, remember CM Punk was tagging with FTR in the trios thing, weren't they? Yeah. They had a name going for.
Wasn't it just CMFTR?
CMFTR, yeah.
Which is way less clever than that. So
yeah.
And then I know Edge is a big fan of them. Like they used to have them on their podcast when he had a podcast back in the day, and so yeah, he's definitely been a champion of FTR.
Or Edge and Christian versus FTR. I mean, I'm down for that.
No, down the line, like I 100% see this being a feud, and then definitely down the line.
Eventually, no, there's no way they don't team again. Eventually,
no way. Yeah,
there's no way.
The money's there, the want is there, and I'm sure the want is there on their end. Yeah.
Yes.
As much as I wanted Christian to come back to WWE so we could get Edge and Christian versus the Usos. Yeah. I think Edge and Christian versus FTR is a good consolation prize.
Yeah, I mean, and then you keep going down the line. I mean, if we're talking teams
the
there,
Bucks.
ENC versus the Bucks. ENC versus Aussie Open would be dope.
The
ENC
Lucha Bros, whoever. Yeah.
Oh, Lucha Bros. That's a match I never fucking thought I could say out loud.
Yeah,
Edge
right.
and Christian versus the Lucha Bros. Come on.
And since they have such a good working relationship with TNA, I mean, let's bring the guns over.
Yeah, you and your Alex Shelley.
I'm just saying.
I'm not against it, but I don't know. We'll see. They did randomly bring him in for that one pay-per-view, but yeah.
So
yeah, no, I mean, I could see them doing one last Hardy's ENC match for sure. I mean, that's a money match you do on pay-per-view for sure. Even I mean, as long as the fans understand that these guys are 25 years older than their prime matches, we have to keep the expectations in check. But even then, if they hit all their main spots and don't kill each other in the process, it would be fun. You know what I mean? To see, even as a visual, seeing those guys face off in the ring one more time would be pretty surreal. It really would.
Yeah, that's another thing, especially because I think both Hardys were gone by the time Matt came back, right? Or that Edge came back. So another match we never thought we'd see again. Based on companies. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you do it at a pay-per-view. Or I think it could be the main event of one of their specials. We always have Winter is Coming or whatever.
Yeah. St. Patrick's Day Slam.
I could see it being the main event of a special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a TV episode. No, I mean for any TV episode, that's definitely a main event.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it sounds like Edge will do the good amount on TV, which is kind of cool. We weren't even sure he'd do any TV,
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a contributing factor, rather than just hey, we'll let you wrestle every week or every other week.
Wrestle as much as it was probably wrestle as much or as little as you want to, but if you want to wrestle, you can wrestle.
I do wonder if it almost felt to me like the way he was talking was like, I want to do this a lot. You know what I mean? While I can. And maybe WWE was under the line of hey, let's hold off, just the Rumble. Just make,
we don't want you to get we don't want you to get hurt again. Don't do this. Don't
get
do
hurt and also make you an attraction. You know what I mean? Where if you want to see Edge, you only got these few times.
But if he feels like he's got another 2 or 3 years of really good matches in him, why not let him have these fresh matches with new guys?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That might have been. That might have been another contributing factor of WWE was like, we want to hold off on you until only these dates, and then AEW was like, dude, you want to fucking wrestle?
Well, it's not like he doesn't need to be doing ladder matches and kill himself like Darby Allin. He could just be having good matches,
oh yeah, no, like I said, I mean, I guess again, similar again, going back. I mean, obviously it didn't end well, but it started well with CM Punk. You know what I mean? He was a pretty regular Dynamite guy as well as a pay per view guy. Hobbs, Seidel, Bobby Fish. You know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Should we jump into some Fastlane predictions?
Yeah.
Not a shit ton to do. 5 matches.
Only 5 so far. I'm wondering if
they're going to announce 1 or 2 more on SmackDown, maybe, something.
I kind of thought we were going to get Gunther and Ciampa, but we got that last night. It was a pretty good match last night. So that's probably not going to happen now. Which sucks. I feel like the IC title gets on Raw too much over pay-per-views.
Right. I feel like that with Ciampa is a pay-per-view level nice match.
Yeah, it could have been. It was last night. That was definitely a main event, which could have been a great mid-card.
I thought it was going to be, and they said Raw. I was like, save that for the pay-per-view. That's a good match right there.
Yeah, even him and Gable, I thought could have been held off till this maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say you could do something with the US, but Rey Mysterio is in another match.
But
is he? Well, we'll get to that. I'm not sure who's in that match. Triple threat for the I'm not even sure what the women's titles are called anymore. Let's say the SmackDown women's title because it's like Women's World and they're just women's. Or
this is just WWE women's.
WWE women's title, sure. The SmackDown one, Io Sky, Asuka, and Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
We'll start at the bottom and just work our way up.
I don't even know what the matches are, so these are all new to me. So because I'm the one who watches the least amount of week to week WWE. So
yeah,
I don't know what's going on. Most of my predictions are pretty blind going into WWE stuff.
I mean, it's a pretty straightforward story here. Asuka was your champion, won. Charlotte's getting herself involved like she does a lot. Probably a good match here, actually. I have faith that the match will be good. I'm not really gung ho on any confidence here. I'm just gonna say Io retains. I just don't. Let's give her a little bit of a lengthier reign. So that's my kind of only guess here. So Io Sky retains for me.
Yeah, I'll probably go the same just because, she's still fresh off of it. So, why kill it immediately? Both
first ever run, too. This is her first impression.
Yeah, Asuka and Charlotte have had their lengthy title runs. They don't need it at the moment. Let's keep making a star with the Io. So let's go Io. Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm torn between Io retaining and Charlotte being Charlotte. I'm gonna go with Charlotte. I think Charlotte's gonna get it. This is one where I want to be wrong though. Like if I'm wrong, I am totally okay with it. But it's like sometimes it's hard to bet against Charlotte, and I'm one thing is for sure. Like I think this is gonna be a really really good match. I think all three competitors here are at that level. So the three of them together, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So we got a couple of EOs. You think Charlotte might take it? And yeah, if I had to pick a second, it would be Charlotte because, as you said, Charlotte could just be Charlotte and get another title ring. Tag titles on the line. Interesting pairing here. We got, of course, I was gonna say the Dark Order. Help me. What are they called?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Baylor and Priest versus Cody and help me, Jimmy, Jay.
That's Jay. Main event Jay. So Jay.
Oh, fuck, Cody. I swear I watch.
Austin, who you got in this one?
This one's interesting because, I don't know. Like, I don't know what Judgment Day's been up to lately. If there's been still that dissension between Finn and Damian with the Money in the Bank briefcase. They're going back still, always kind of teasing it on the horizon. Jay's really hot, right now with the crowd. You know what? I'll take the switch on this one. I'll take Jay and Cody to snag it and further put some tension between Damian and Finn Balor. So
hey, I got my delivery of bugles.
All right. I'm torn on this one. It doesn't seem as obvious as I think other people might think. Obviously you're gonna go with the team that's been around and not the team that's just, hey, we want the titles. Okay, well, fight us for them. Because they are kind of teasing that dissension. I could see JD McDonough getting involved and possibly, is that me?
I'm muted.
I thought I heard something.
Like a rumble.
Yeah,
I heard it too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't hear it anymore. So
I am hungry. I haven't eaten these bugles yet.
Oh,
that's what it was. Wasn't me.
Maybe it was so loud.
Went through the mute.
This one, I'm gonna stick with Judgment Day. But yeah, I'm not confident. I think this one could go either way. Jordan.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. It's an interesting match, because again, this was kind of a quickly made match last week. I mean, obviously the story's there, but it is a makeshift tag team here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with. We continue to have some Judgment Day problems. We had Dominic drop the title for North American in NXT, unless he wins it tonight back. But he dropped the title up until last time we know. And so I'm gonna say we get new tag champs here. I think it's only October. We kind of want to keep these two busy, and this is something for them to do at least for the next month or two, even if it's a short reign, and continues the maybe downfall of Judgment Day. So I'll go with that. I'll go new champs.
You know what? I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna flop. I'm gonna go Jay and Cody, but I'm gonna go by DQ. So Judgment Day are still champions. If Jay and Cody win clean, I don't get the point. If Jay and Cody win by DQ, I do. I think Judgment Day are walking out as champions. I think Jay and Cody get the win by DQ.
Okay, so we say that, and you kind of say that.
I say that, but by a DQ.
Multi-man match. So if they win clean and get the titles, you don't get the point.
No point.
You're saying that right now. Okay.
We
do because me and JPO didn't have that stipulation.
Yeah, no. They can win by DQ, count out. I don't give a shit. We get the point.
I don't give a shit. I give a win.
6-man tag here. Bobby Lashley, Street Profits, LWO. Do you know for sure who's in this match, by the way?
Well, according to the Wikipedia, it says Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and either Joaquin Wilde or Cruz del Toro.
Oh, that's what I was confused by. I figured you'd want the star power, but I'm like, poor whoever doesn't get involved. You know what I mean? Cruz gets to watch the Toro watches Cruz. All right.
Well, maybe they use this to introduce a fourth member over here. maybe a Bianca
Oh,
Belair who
Danny's
we
returning.
haven't seen for a
Wait, who?
Bianca Belair, who we have we not seen her for a couple weeks?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
You know,
Well, that's still
Zelina's
the equal
there.
dudes, but yeah.
No, not equal dudes, but since Zelina's going to be out there, maybe a Bianca returns and we finally get the heel turn we might have been wanting for a while. But yeah, I think this might be maybe a way to get Bobby Lashley back in the U.S. title picture. So I think, and we want to establish them as a force. So as much as I love Ray, I mean he's a Hall of Famer already. Nothing's gonna hurt him. He can lose. It's fine. He's already had.
Well, or those guys can pin one of the other dudes, and it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't even have to go after Ray. Like if it's a 6-man,
right?
Whoever that third person is going to be, who they haven't even said yet, can go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think Lashley and the Prophet's taken. I think Lashley's going to pin Ray. And the last time I predicted somebody to pin somebody, I was correct because I'm pretty sure Sam maybe pinned Chris Jericho. Am I right? In the Callis and you're right. There were 14. There were 14 matches. You're right. I don't expect you to remember.
I don't remember. There was 14
matches. I'll have to look back up.
I watched wrestling for 5 hours straight. I don't remember.
I'll have to look back up. I want to say the last time I predicted
maybe you might be right.
to pin somebody. I think I was correct. So
you might be right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lashley and the Prophets, and hopefully they get like a name. Do they have a name yet, Jordan?
No, not as far as I know.
They gotta get one.
It's also the first time they've teamed as far as these three. So yeah,
true.
I mean, he almost kicked them out of the group last week. The group almost died last week. They teased that. So yeah, we're just kind of starting this group.
That's true. So.
They're really hurt.
The hurt business for profits.
Yeah, the hurt business. There you go. No, hurt profits. Hurt profits. There you go. I don't know, but no, I'm definitely with Jacob. I feel like we've been wrong in the past when it comes to like Retribution and Judgment Day. We're like, they're definitely going to win because they're a new team. Never mind, because I feel like WWE does that sometimes. But no, I feel like all the wording here, they kind of need to win as this new group. Lashley's already kind of pulled the whole like, hey, if you don't fucking step up, I'm out. This is also is this like Lashley's first match
in a while?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like we're getting the return technically of Lashley. The newly heel-ish, Street Profits that are at least a little more, violent, if you will, or however you want to put it. And against these three, it's a non-title match, obviously. So I even agree that like you could have pinned Ray, you know what I mean, and like set up a future Lashley match if you want. I also necessarily trust LWO. I kind of feel like they could turn heel too on Ray kind of afterwards. I feel like that's always been kind of lurking somewhere. So yeah, all signs to me point that this should be Team Lashley.
Yeah, I'll go the same way just because, if you want to build this team, this new unit or whatever, I'll go with that as well. LWO is still strong as a group and it won't hurt them that much. I'm fine with that.
All right.
All in agreement. Looks like these three might be walking with the W. And I'm sorry, Zelina.
Hey.
Hey, speaking of random tags, Cena and LA Knight against the Bloodline.
Yeah,
is this me?
It is you.
I think the faces. I think it's just going to be a good pop to get Cena, who I think also kind of needs a win, and then LA Knight, who should just continue history. So, and the Bloodline are also kind of similar to when I was in LWO. They're kind of falling apart. Like I think you want a reason for Solo to hate, Uso, because they're already kind of teasing like they don't really want him back in the Bloodline totally. So, again, I feel like all signs kind of point to Cena and LA Knight here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same way only because I think we might be setting up a future Solo versus Jimmy Uso with Solo kind of pulling a face turn a little bit, and kind of being. I can see the crowd kind of getting behind him eventually, with how Jimmy turned on his brother. So I think that could cause, even more disintegration in the bloodline. So, and just, again, another pay-per-view where you can get LA Knight a win. I think send the crowd home happy with that. So I'll take Knight and Cena as well.
Yeah, I'm still not fully sold on Jimmy back with the bloodline. I think he's taking the pin here and there. Yeah, I think yeah, it's weird. Like this bloodline storyline that's been going on for 3 years now. It's like I'm kind of getting over it, and I'm like, let's have a conclusion here. Jimmy was out, now he's back in. Are we just trying to?
Well, it was kind of
WrestleMania,
down, and then it was hot again, and now it's like kind of spinning our wheels again. Like, where are we going?
Yeah, like I think the money is on Jimmy and Jay, and not like the bloodline as a whole. I think the money, could be Jimmy and Jay going 1-on-1, which I think will be a fire match. But yeah, I think Cena and Knight take this. I think this is the one I'm like the most confident in for the night.
Okay.
We got I would guess is your main event, World Heavyweight title, because Roman Reigns is not a fucking around. Seth Rollins and Shinsuke, and I believe also Last Man Standing, by the way.
Last Man Standing,
which
is Seth Rollins' first Last Man Standing in the WWE.
Oh, interesting. Not too many firsts for him probably left.
Yeah. So Austin?
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds like a safe bet, but I'll keep with Rollins here. I don't see them changing the World Heavyweight title on a Fastlane. Maybe at a Survivor Series, maybe. But Fastlane, not really. I'm sure it'll be a good match. Last Man Standings are hit or miss. It's like they're either really good or kind of boring. I don't know. It depends how you lay it out. But I'll just stick with Seth on this one. So I'm not going to anything too crazy tonight, but that's where we'll have to do a couple of tiebreakers to see what happens. So, yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say. Like I want in my mind, want is Shinsuke, just because again I'm a fan of like let's do something new with this title. I've said before, like we should have some fun with this title more than the Roman title, because let's give it to a brand new guy. Rollins has had it now for a few months, so it's not like this would be a bad reign. You know what I mean? If he lost it now, so but yeah, again, between it being Fastlane and I just don't have faith that they're ever gonna pull the trigger on Shinsuke. I don't. So I'm gonna say Rollins.
I do. I'm going.
I like it.
I'm going Nakamura. I think Nakamura is going to take it. I think there's a reason it's the Last Man Standing. I think. I don't think he's going to win it by himself. I don't know who's going to get involved, but
true. It's a good match to have shenanigans without there being any problems.
I think and I think this is the perfect match where Rollins can lose the title but still look strong and still kind of be that top guy. And you're like, oh, well, let's get the rematch now. So I'm gonna go Nakamura, which I mean, you guys are pretty much tied. So I say we need to hold off. But I think because there's only 5 matches, I say we hold off on tiebreakers until after SmackDown, and we see if the card is like if there's anything added, and then in our chat we can talk about tiebreakers, because I have a feeling 5 matches isn't much for a pay-per-view, so I feel like something's going to get added.
I think not much though. WWE has been pretty common with a 6 to 7 cap recently.
Yeah,
they seem to be like
1.
The opposite of AEW. AEW's like, we're doing 10 plus, and WWE's like, we're cutting it from 8 to 7 to 6. Like, but no, I imagine something on SmackDown
getting added.
Maybe at least one match will get added.
Rhea might be too late. I feel like it might have to be a SmackDown. I don't know, but yeah, I think we'll see. I think we gotta have 6. 5 to me does not seem enough.
I think so.
Yeah, well, some of these matches I'm sure will get time. That doesn't seem like enough time. So yeah, let's get at least 6.
Maybe there's a Grayson Waller effect on the show or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean you could I'm trying to think if they've been setting up anything with them. Yeah. That's always possible to add some Grayson Waller.
And then where is it being held? It's in Indianapolis, so there's really nobody like I can't think of anyone from Indianapolis. It's like, hey.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, obvious. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about once the final.
We got Friday. We got all of Friday night.
We'll do it. We'll do an opening match prediction as well, and we'll figure out some tiebreakers.
MJF defending the tag title. Oh wait,
yeah.
That was a misview from all of us. I think we should have called that.
Yeah. I will say though, I think if Judgment Day opens the show and loses, we might see Damian Priest walk out as champion.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's because again, Last Man Standing. Even if Rollins wins, I'm sure he'll be fucking beat up.
Beat up, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, you could also fuck over Shinsuke, but I hope not. But I'd be upset if Shinsuke won. Like, I finally did it, and you hear just make music. He's just like, "Oh, you motherfuckers!"
Well, no, if Rollins survives, but he's like wobbly legged,
Well, no, Rollins, I'm all for.
Yeah,
that's how you do it. Heel cashes in on the hurt babyface who just overcame the odds and now is screwed. I just don't want Shinsuke's first reign to be like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
And I'm wondering if they want to do something big. It's like, oh, hey, Adam Copeland just debuted in AEW. Like, we got to do something.
They hire. I don't know, who can they hire?
Do they bring Jade out? Do they bring Jade introduce her or show her in the crowd?
Maybe not Bianca. Jade's with the Hurt business.
Maybe
because they did a piece of news, like they hyped her on SmackDown.
They're hyping her, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not like waiting. Like they hyped her as like, holy shit, we just got this new signee, which is very unique and rare. Like you don't see that often. So
yeah, so I doubt she goes to NXT. I doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't be against it.
At this point, I'm going to say no. Because, again, I don't think they would have bothered mentioning that she's coming and she's signed if they were like, now go to NXT for 6 months to a year. You know what I mean? Or 2 or whatever. No, I think she's Raw or SmackDown bound for sure. It could be a couple months, maybe make a surprise. But, yeah, I don't think they would have hyped her if there wasn't plans of just like, she's main event or main roster.
Do you think they pull the trigger on her this quick and have her win the Rumble?
I mean, honestly, at that point, it's not even that quick. I mean, you're talking 3-4 months away. So, yeah, possible. Yeah. I mean, it's probably even late January. So, you're talking about a full 4 months. So, yeah, I mean, I can even see that potentially being her debut. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I think she treats herself like a star so far. WWE has treated her, AEW treated her like a star. WWE treating her like a star so far as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, again, think about it. Like, how many people get like a hype video that's not a former, roster member already. You know what I mean? So,
also, the Rumble, if she comes in and they show her power off, she eliminates like 10 women,
Yeah.
Or set some kind of record for eliminating women in the women's Rumble, that sort of thing.
I can easily see her being, the Braun Roman of like just dumping bodies. Yeah,
dumping people left and right.
Breaks Bianca's record by eliminating her to win. Oh,
you can even like start off like if they were really ballsy, like start like her at number 1, Bianca number 2, and like fucking eliminate Bianca right away. Like give her like a big elimination right off the cusp. Oh yeah, no, there's definitely ways we could do it. I can see her. Honestly, it's really up to them and how good she does. I can easily see her not main eventing, but being in a title match at Mania. I think it's possible. Like it's definitely not impossible.
As long as they don't give her the Gable Steveson treatment, hype her up, and then like.
Well, at least the difference here is she's at least had matches and will continue to probably be training for a little while here.
And I think I think she definitely got better during her AEW run too, from like where she started to where she ended. Like I think she showed improvement. So. Yeah, I'm excited.
No.
But yeah, I don't think unless you guys have anything else, we can wrap it up. We'll get Richie's predictions from him at some point. They won't count because he's not on the show, but whatever.
Richie just messaged me. He says Asuka. Somebody's actually kind of evenly. So I was going to try to give him fake predictions, but these are all kind of 50-50 to begin with.
Yeah,
so
Asuka,
Shinsuke. I'm trying to give him bad predictions, but none of them are really that bad, actually. Like Asuka, maybe.
Some of these are definitely 50-50. It's like, well, yeah, but I can see that or that or that.
Yeah, like, honestly, I'm not confident in any of my picks except for
that's why I couldn't it's not like AEW. I feel like there's a couple. Maybe I was like, damn, these are all kind of possible. So
except for Cena and LA Knight, like that's the only one I'm confident in. If we did confidence points, they're all going to that match.
That's number 1. I'd say Bobby 2 because again, I feel like that's gotta give that faction a win. Other than that, and I in a way, Jacob, I hope you're right about the main event. I hope you get that point. I'll lose the prediction for you to get that. And I do got to bounce right now though. Someone's at my door.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna
we'll talk in the
wrap
chat.
It up
I have an idea about what we might do for next week. If we go with my thing, we'll talk in the chat.
All right.
Okay.
I love you guys.
That's JPO. Check him out over at the Pierce Wrestling.
No one's leaning in, just me.
No, it's that's weird. Go, just leave.
Get out of here.
So check him out. Pierce Wrestling, movie trivia, wrestling trivia, real pro wrestling, exclusive matches, interviews, and stuff like that. Austin, what do you got going on in the next few days?
Yeah, no, mostly just stuff over on the Movie Hero Network as usual. I'll be we'll be doing the 2007 series. We're in the middle of that, so part 2 tomorrow night. I'll be hosting the Friday one for the championship, the half bracket. Sweeney Todd is in the championship, by the way, Jacob. It got
I
a
was
lot of love
wondering. I
yesterday.
had this. I knew it made it out of the first round, but I was like, because
It at least it actually made it, I think, into the 8 before it got knocked
nice.
out on
If only you
that
did
part 1.
polls for
So
these.
we had a panel that was pretty high on Sweeney Todd. So if we have a lot
Yeah,
of the same people,
I saw it. Yeah,
it could do well and maybe even hang on to another tournament. So we'll see.
but yeah.
See how it does.
As long as it's top 8 and it moves on to 2006, I
Yeah,
don't
there you
expect
go.
it to, but you never know with the way the
Well,
bracket.
yeah, we'll see, but it will be appearing again on Friday, so it's in there.
Nice.
There will be Blood Took Part 1. We'll see what takes
Of
Part
course,
2. I was pulling for either that or Walk Hard, personally. So we'll see.
See, Walk Hard would have been a fun part 1 pick, and
Right.
then There Will Be Blood.
See, that's what I was
Be
going for. I was like, let's get Walk Hard, and then like the actual best movie was probably There Will Be Blood. So like have that one on Friday. So like it'd be weird. It's like There Will Be Blood, and then Walk Hard. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But 2007 is a good year.
Yeah,
so
it was actually there's still a lot of good movies to come in part 2.
Was No
like I said,
Country for Old Men on part 1?
No, it will be on part 2. Yes, so that
I
should
think
be
that
a
I
heavy
think
favorite.
that could be your finals.
Super Bad's in there. There's a couple of movies we didn't see yet, so yeah, a couple of heavy ones. But yeah, so that's the rest of this week. We have a podcast about movies, I believe. Jacob, is that correct?
We do on Saturday, and yeah, we talked earlier today. We're gonna go about an hour earlier just because of some scheduling things on my end. Which love that you're always willing and flexible. So appreciate that. That's what you need to look for.
We can get done, and then I can watch Fastlane.
There we go. Yeah,
because that was start at 7 or 8 o'clock that night, something like that.
Yeah, probably the pre-show, which they don't have any matches for. So yeah, you'll probably start watching at 8. Yeah, and I even forgot that it was Saturday and not Sunday anymore. So I might not even.
I'll watch an hour of it and then I'll finish it the next day. Most likely, I don't stay up for those.
It's 5 p.m. for me, so like I have no problem watching the full show.
Yeah, so I should get on to watching those movies for our show. Now that's
yes, we will be doing another wrapping up our anniversary series with the 2010s. We'll be doing Fruitvale Station, Gravity, 3 Identical Strangers, and Upgrade. So that'll be our conversation on Saturday before we get into some horror with the Chucky series.
Yeah, and we might do a horror draft as well.
I'm in the mood for another draft. It's October, so let's do horror.
Yeah, well, speaking of horror as well, Sunday night, I will be on Rankum as well with Malcolm, who was in the chat. We'll be ranking some Saw movies with the new Saw X release, and then we might have a Seen and Heard episode at 8 o'clock on Sunday night as well. So with the Grand Champion episode, so that should be which I'll be participating in. So so a lot of stuff.
You've seen Saw X already?
Oh yeah.
So quick review. I'm hearing really good things. Like it's some people's first or second favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see it again in the next couple of days. Because I try not to rank it within a franchise till I've seen it at least twice.
Right.
Just because I'm a fan the first time, and then I'll get nitpicky and kind of really look at everything second time. But it's definitely like for sure upper half of that series. Nice. Definitely like a top 5er, and I'll just have to see kind of after a watch because I really like those older movies. But it feels the reason why I think people are going crazy over it is Kevin Grader, who did this one, made it really feel like an old school Saw movie. Like it really does feel like it slides right into that timeline of like the first couple of Saw movies, which it just blends right in. So that's what I'm very happy with. Because Jigsaw didn't feel like a Saw movie. Spiral was a little weird, being like a spinoff. So we're getting back to like old school kind of Saw movie vibes, and like I think the fans are digging it. Like it's pretty cool. So I liked it a lot. Very much.
Yeah, I looked it up, and I was surprised to see that this was the first Saw movie with a positive score.
Yeah, it's interesting because most of them get like 30-40%, something like that.
And the first one was 50.
Well, I mean, just because, it's like, critics, again, are always iffy with horror movies in general, but especially like, splatter, gore, Saw movies, or, it's like, it's not for everybody. And I get that. It's never been about the ratings. Like the fans like the movies. But I think even this one, they just went harder on the story as far as like, they got more fleshed out characters that he's putting in the things, which definitely helps. It's not just a bunch of random people. There's a nice story at the center of it with him, kind of a medical trauma at the center of it, and it's a really good, like, the characters are really, really fleshed out in this one, which I think is definitely helping. Like, it feels well written as well.
Okay.
So if you had told me that I would see Saw X and Dumb Money the same day, and I might rate Saw X slightly higher than Dumb Money, I told you're crazy, but yeah, maybe a little over. And I like Dumb Money a lot, but you told me Saw X might be better. Yeah, something.
I'll have to watch it. Yeah, because that's another. It's a horror franchise that I've actually seen all of. So yeah, I'm
Nice.
looking forward to seeing Saw X at some
Yeah.
point. But this isn't the podcast about movies. We'll talk about movies on Saturday.
Yeah, there's no wrestlers in Saw X, so I can't tie it in anyway, or Dumb Money. So I'm sorry, can't tie it in with some kind of wrestling connection. No.
Yeah, so that we'll talk some movies on Saturday. I just had a Twitch TV title match over on Combat Wrestling Trivia, twitch.tv/Castifer. Go check that out. It was me versus Ryan McCormick. So go check that out. It's a great match. I guess it was a higher scoring match for a Twitch TV title match. So
nice.
Very, very proud of it. I will not say whether I won or lost on screen. I'm just saying it's a really good match. Got some battleground stuff happening in the near future. So yeah, got some stuff happening. But this was great. Looking forward to going back and watching Wrestledream. I think you guys convinced me that it was a really great show.
Definitely think there wasn't, again, it was one of those pay-per-views, to bring it back around, that I don't think it had a bad match on the show, so that's always a good thing. When I don't think there was like one stinker. I mean, Chris Statlander and Julia Hart, even them, the crowd was still into it. It was still fairly entertaining. FTR and them, the crowd was tired, but it was still a good match. Like, again, a lot of good matches and a couple of really great matches. So that's always a good pay-per-view when you get a couple of really great bangers and a great moment to end the show. So yeah, it was definitely a big successful pay-per-view overall. So yeah, anybody who's watching, if you're thinking about getting the replay, I would say it's actually worth it. So yeah, to check out when you get a chance.
Yeah, and then next week we will be back talking Fastlane and maybe some other news, whatever happens.
And whatever JPO wants to do for him and Richie tied in the predictions. So we'll get to Richie when he gets back from New Zealand. But there he is. But we were just saying we'll do Fastlane and whatever you decide to do for your thing.
So, but until then, that is JPO counting his money because everybody has a plan.
I really should do this before they leave. Like, if this wasn't real, I'd be fucked. Like, random stranger, get back here.
You got to get one of those markers they use at the grocery store, and like test it.
Yeah. Well, that's why you might even know what to do with this wise is from a grocery experience. Yeah.
Are you going to give that money away to the first person who kisses your feet? Or to somebody who can dribble a ball 10 times and you knock it away on the ninth?
Yeah,
when you said the first part, I was just like, I mean, if you're into that, Jacob, it wasn't my first idea, but I mean, whatever, bro.
96, 97, 98. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't get the money.
Yeah, that was great.
Rob Van Dam is the answer.
Yes. But yeah, no, we will see you guys.
Pizza and wings.
Nice. We'll see you next week where JPO orders dinner.
I have a meme to take us out, Jacob, that I made myself. A nice reminder for everybody as we go out. So, for Jacob, for JPO, I'm Austin Pez-Howell. This has been the Lonely Marks. And just a quick reminder, Roman Reigns has only defended his title once since WrestleMania.